Hi and welcome to my channel. Today we're gonna make chicken enchiladas with green sauce the easy way. So this is a way that you can make your chicken enchiladas in the oven, and we're gonna make it like a casserole. But it's a simple, easy recipe that you could make. Anybody can make. Even a kid can make it, like if you prep everything for them. So we're gonna get started. These are the ingredients we're gonna need. So we're gonna use 2 cans of enchilada green sauce. So you can use any brand you want, or you can make your own enchilada sauce and have it pre-made, but we're gonna do it the easy way today. I have 2.5 of chicken breast that I had already cooked. I put it to cook for about 35 minutes with salt, onion and garlic, and we drained the water and we put it in a Ziploc bag. And then we're gonna use 1 pound of melting cheese, which is Oaxaca cheese, but you could use any cheese you want. You could use shredded cheese, Mexican style. You could use mozzarella cheese. You could use any cheese that melts, pretty much you could use to make your enchilada casserole. Then we're gonna use 1/2 of an onion. We're gonna dice it and put it on our enchiladas. We're gonna use about 25 to 30 corn tortillas, any brand you want. And then we're gonna use about 1/4 of oil to put on our corn tortillas. You could use any oil. You could use vegetable oil, canola oil, extra virgin olive oil. And this is our container that we're gonna use to make our enchilada casserole. And then for our enchilada casserole, I put foil paper on our container because it's easier to just throw away. It's really hard to clean it once you have all that cheese that's burnt on the edges or cooked on the edges. So I like to put foil paper on my tray where I'm gonna make my enchilada casserole, and I just spray it with you could spray it with any kind of cooking oil. So we're gonna get started, and this is the easy way that we can make chicken enchiladas with green sauce. So what we're gonna do to prep everything to put it together, we're gonna open our cans of enchilada sauce. We're gonna shred our chicken breast, and then we're gonna shred our cheese, and then we're gonna dice our onion to put it all together. So now we're gonna shred our chicken breast. You could shred it with your hands, or you could cut it into little squares with your knife, whatever's easier for you. So you could just grab it and start shredding it. It's easy to shred because it has no juice on it, because we took it out of the juice when we cooked it. And you could always shred it like this with your hands, or you could cut it into little thin pieces like this. Whatever's easier for you. I cut it like this sometimes to just go faster, and then I cut it the long way and then the width way. And you cut little squares of chicken, sorry. So I'm dropping half of it in the edge. So this is the easier way that you could shred your chicken breast. So now we're gonna shred our cheese. Same thing, you just pull it apart and you shred your cheese, or you could always cut it with the with your knife. I get this cheese, it's called Oaxaca cheese. It's really good. It's kind of like string cheese, skim milk string cheese, but it melts really good and it tastes fantastic. It's Oaxaca cheese. That's what we call it. But like I said, you could always use whatever cheese is your preference. And this is nice because this cheese, it strings up, so it's made like this. It looks like string cheese, and you could always shred it the long way like this for your enchiladas, or you could use your knife, whatever's easier for you. So you could just pull it apart like this, or you could just buy shredded cheese at the store and just have it ready for your enchiladas. So I'm gonna show you a way that you could just make it into little squares. You could always use your knife. You don't have to use your hands if you don't want to. If you want to make it a little faster. If you don't have a lot of time, you come home and you just want to make a really fast dinner, but a delicious dinner. So now we have everything ready to start making our enchilada casserole. So the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put oil into this plate, and it's not a lot of oil, it's just enough so we could dunk our corn tortillas in there. So now what we're gonna do, I'll show you here. See, you get a better look. Okay, so now I can show you here. So we're gonna get started. So the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put a little bit of sauce. We're gonna put some green sauce on the bottom of your tray where you're gonna your enchilada casserole. So that's the first thing we put in. We put green salsa in there. So now we're gonna dunk our tortillas in oil, and then we're gonna put them in the bottom. And you could overlap them a little bit. So probably three tortillas on the bottom. You could even do 4 if you want. I'm only gonna do 3, but I'm gonna overlap them. So see, I'm gonna put oil and then put it on another tortilla and then overlap them. See, oil, and then put in a tortilla and another tortilla. So here we go. We put a total of 9 tortillas on the bottom of our casserole. So now we're gonna start adding all the ingredients we have. So now that we did that, now we're gonna start adding the chicken. Sorry, we're gonna add the chicken. So 1 layer of chicken, all evenly layered on top of the tortillas. See? And now we're gonna add onions. So just a little bit of onions all around the casserole. And then we're gonna add cheese. And now we're gonna add the sauce. So green sauce on our first layer. So now we're gonna do our second layer. So now we're gonna add our second layer. So we're gonna dunk our tortillas in the oil. So see, now we're gonna put it, overlap them. So it's gonna be a total of 18 tortillas that we're gonna use for this casserole, because we're using 9 tortillas on the bottom and 9 tortillas on the top. And see, and that way we're not using a bunch of oil. So see, now we already did another layer of tortillas. So now we're gonna do add some green sauce on the bottom of the tortillas so it won't be dry. We're gonna give it a nice layer. So now we're gonna add the chicken. So evenly put the chicken on your casserole. So see, we have chicken. It's gonna be delicious. It's an easy recipe that you could just run home and do. If you're busy, you don't have a lot of time, you could pre-make them, pre-make it, and then cook it once you put it in on the refrigerator, and once you're ready to cook it, you could just cook it. So we're gonna put it in the oven for about 35 minutes. So see, we put cheese, now we're putting onions on it, an even amount of onions. And now we're gonna put the rest of the cheese. Make sure all the cheese, we use all the cheese. So now we use all the cheese and all the chicken. And now what we're gonna do, we're gonna put a big layer of salsa on top. So see, we're gonna evenly put salsa on our enchilada casserole. And this is it. This is easy as can be. The reason we put a lot of salsa in it, because it tends to dry up with the tortillas. If you put a little bit of sauce, when you cook it in the oven, it's gonna dry up and your enchiladas are gonna be super dry. So we actually ended up using both of our cans of green sauce, and our cans were 12 ounces each of the green salsa for enchiladas. So now here we have our casserole, and we're gonna go put it in the oven. So here's our enchilada casserole. So we put it on a tray, so if anything comes out of it, it's gonna be collected by the bottom tray. So now we're gonna put it in the oven at 375 for 35 minutes, and then we're gonna come and check on it. So we already took it out of the oven. It cooked for 45 minutes. So now we're gonna let it sit for 5 minutes, and then we're gonna try it. Now we have our enchilada casseroles already done, and we let it sit for about 3 minutes. So now we're gonna try it out. It smells delicious, but it's still a little bit hot. So we're gonna try it out. So see, the sauce, the chicken. It's delicious. See the cheese? It's melted. It has a really good flavor. And it was so easy to make. It's delicious. So once again, this is my recipe of the easiest way that you can make chicken enchiladas on green sauce.